I am about to drop the secret key ingredient to getting your kids reading and spelling with ease. You ready for this? Every child on this planet can become a strong and confident reader. And the best part, it can be simple, quick, and fun to support your readers at home. We are on a mission to help every single child become a strong and confident reader. And we believe that parents play an enormous role in making that happen and making school a safe place, bringing joy to reading, and helping open up doors for your child's future. In case you don't know me, my name is Megan, and I am part of the Developing Readers Academy team, and we are on a mission to get every single child on this planet reading confidently, developing a love for learning, and opening doors to their future. And we believe that reading and writing and literacy is a very important step in opening up the door to your children's futures. So let's jump into my very secret key element of getting your kids reading and spelling with ease. But before I do, actually, I'm gonna keep you on the hook a little bit longer here. First, I want to give you a pop quiz. You're gonna like this pop quiz. I promise, even if you were someone who maybe did not enjoy it back in school. This pop quiz, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no good or bad answer. It's all neutral. Okay, so it's just answer how you feel. Question 1 on our pop quiz. Have you ever said or thought, I'm too busy to help my kids with reading? Remember, there's no right or wrong answer. It's not a bad thing to be busy, but have you ever thought it? Question 2. Have you ever tried to start something, been so excited right away, and then you do it really a lot, you do your best, 100% effort, and then after 2 or 3 days, you kind of run out of bandwidth, kind of run out of that steam, and you end up quitting, and you end up stop doing it. It can be anything. It can be reading with your kids, or it can be anything. It can be saving money. It can be a new diet you're trying out, trying to drink more water. I did that once. I tried to drink more water. I was like, I got my 100 milliliters or whatever it was filled up. I'm going to drink so much water. I was great for 2 days, and then totally fell off the wagon. Like, I'll just skip it today. It'll be fine. I didn't do it. I was so excited, but I couldn't stick with it. It was not sustainable the way that I took it. So if you're one of those that you've started and then stopped, you're not alone. You're not alone. Third question of our pop quiz. Have you ever started something and you did stick with it? You were able to consistently do the thing over time. What was, if you said yes to both of those, so 1, you've started something and then not followed through, or 2, you've started something and you have stuck with it. What was the difference between the two? I'm just curious, and I'm sure everyone watching this is going to have a slightly different answer here, but there was something different between the one that you were excited and stopped and the one that you kept with and became a habit or a routine for you. I'm curious what the difference is. So here we are to the secret key ingredient. I'm not going to make you wait anymore. The secret key ingredient to getting your kids reading and spelling with ease is to practice consistently. You might be going, seriously? That's it? That's the key ingredient? Yes. Consistency is queen, is what I like to say. Consistency is queen. And this goes for so many things in life. This is more than just getting your kids reading. But if you're here, you're probably interested in getting your kids reading, whether it's your kids at home or your kids at school. But consistency is queen. It is key. It is essential in helping our kids reach their potential. One problem a lot of parents have is they struggle to build a routine. They struggle to keep it consistent. And a few mistakes that I've seen is either, like I talked about, some parents go 100% all in, boom, balls to the wall right away, but then their bandwidth is all taken up and it's not sustainable. They can't keep it going. Another problem that we've noticed is parents in their own mind are like, we're gonna start reading consistently. This is the day it changes, but they don't get their kids on board. They don't find a way to get their kids in the same mind frame as they are. So then there's so much resistance, there's so much friction because their kids aren't there. They aren't in the mindset of this is going to be part of our routine. So it becomes a battle, it becomes a fight. And then eventually, a lot of times the parents end up wearing down and it stops being consistent again. So it's this cycle of like, we're doing this and we're stopping. We're doing this and we're stopping. And if we can find a way to get ourselves out of that cycle and really create a sustainable routine, you will, let me say that again, you will see growth from your child. Isn't that exciting? And I want to talk about how to do that. Here's one more point to just drive this home. And it's just very ironic that this is what happened because for real, 2 days ago, my son woke up clutching his ear in the middle of the night, screaming, Mommy, I need you, Mommy, I need you. So I bet all the moms out there are going, ding, ding, ding. Exactly what my mom did, ear infection. And I took him into the doctor. He had an ear infection, lo and behold. Yep, there it is. We got our medication. She hands us the prescription. What does the doctor say? Every single time, because unfortunately this was not our first ear infection in this house. But what do they say every single time? Your son is going to feel better in 2 days. Do not stop taking the medicine. If you stop taking the medicine, the ear infection could come back and it might come back worse. Every single time we get antibiotics, that is what they tell us. And it reminds me of reading, because that's what's happening with our kiddos is we're giving them one dose and then skipping it, and then another dose and then skipping it. We're not really healing any of the issues that they have. We're not filling in the gaps the way that they need. And it ends up becoming a bigger problem. We're treating their struggle in a way that's not actually helping them. And it's leaving them more frustrated, less motivated, and it's going to be more and more of a battle the more inconsistent that you are. Just like my son's ear infection. I also like to call, if you are inconsistent with learning, I like to call it turtle mode, because what happens is you end up having to review so much. You end up having, like, let's say you worked on the word the with your child. The can be a very tricky word. Can I just put that out there? Like, we say it so much, and as readers, we might not notice how tricky it is. It is tricky for a lot of kiddos to learn the word the. And let's say you worked on it so hard, and by the end of working on it with your kiddos, you're like, oh, they get it. They know it. Yes. So then the next year, you're like, man, we practiced the yesterday. They knew it. We'll be fine. So you take a night off, maybe 2 nights off. Then you come back to it. And what happened to the word the? It's like it disappeared from your child's mind. It's like it was a little fairy came in with a little wand and ding, word is gone. And it's like they've never seen it before. Who has experienced this before? Me. I have experienced this before, where it's like, was there a little magic fairy that flew in and erased that word from your? We worked so hard. If you would have just done, every day a little bit more practice consistently, then you really are adding extra layers of glue. This is what I tell kids in our Aspire program. I call it glue. We're gluing this in. We're putting as many layers of glue as you need to stick this word in there and to make it stay forever and ever. So if you are not consistent, you're gonna be in turtle mode, because guess what? You need to work on the word the again. And you're gonna be doing the exact same thing you did 2-3 days ago over and over and over again, because they're not getting that glue to stick it up into their brains. So that is a super important reason why we wanna be working consistently with our kids, to stay out of turtle mode, and so that we're not affecting their self-image too. Like, oh, I just can't get this. I just can't get this. We're impacting how they see themselves. So it's important to know all these things. Now let's turn the conversation around a little bit, and let's talk about, well, how the heck are you supposed to make this consistent? Because I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably are busy. You probably do have a million things on your to-do list, on your calendar. Yes, I completely acknowledge that. You're not going to erase things from your life because your child needs to work on reading. So how do you fit it in? How do you make it consistent? How do you stop the battle with your children over reading? If you have not read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear, I highly suggest it. It's a book all about how do we create good habits and how do we break bad habits. And it talks a lot about brain science, and I'm a brain nerd. I love learning about physically, chemically, what is going on up here to make things work. I think it's just really, really fascinating. And he goes over all of that. He has a 4-step plan for creating a good habit. And I am only going to talk about one of the steps. I'm going to talk about the last step. The other 3 steps you're going to find, I'm going to talk about more in our phase 2 of Ban the Summer Slide. We have a workshop. It's going to be a free workshop that you can get, all about creating your easy reading routine for the summer, because we are banning the summer slide. So I'm going to talk at the end about how you can grab phase 2. You can grab that workshop, and we're going to actually create your plan together in the workshop. So it's going to be a good one. I really highly suggest it. But I'm going to talk more about all 4 of the steps. I want to talk about my favorite step right now, though, and that is the last step. The last step is reward. Reward yourself. Reward your children. And this, I feel like this step is overlooked a lot. I know a lot of parents resist always having extrinsic motivation. And when you think of reward, you think of, oh, they're going to get a candy or they're going to get a toy. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. It doesn't need to be a tangible reward. let's talk before we get to what to actually do for rewards. Let's talk about why it's so important. I want you to think for a second about your own job. And if maybe you're a stay-at-home mom or something, think about when you had a job in the past, or just imagine having a job. What if all of a sudden your boss comes up to you and says, yeah, you're not going to get paid anymore? I can only imagine if my principal ever came up to me in the past and was like, yeah, we decided not to give you a paycheck anymore. Because that's really your reward at the end of the day, right? When you have a job, is you get paid for your job. You get money compensated for the time that you're putting in for whatever you're doing. If that paycheck got taken away, would you keep working there? I'm thinking a lot of people, if you're being honest with yourself, would say no. Even if you would, if you're like, I really love my job. If they would take that reward away, how hard would you try? Would you be putting in your 100% effort into something that there's no reward at the end of the day? You're not getting compensated at the end of the day. I think most people, unless you are like Mother Teresa driven so intrinsically, if that reward was taken away, your level of effort would drop probably dramatically. And a lot of people would just quit. Like, okay, I'm going to go find something that I get rewarded for and compensated for my time. And that's how I like to think of this, is we're compensating our kids for putting in the effort, at least right away. And he talks about this in James Clear talks about this in his book a lot, about how once we can build a habit and we can build a routine, the reward starts to not be as important once it is a habit and once it's a routine. It just becomes part of your routine. Like when you brush your teeth in the morning, there is a reward. You get better tasting breath. When you get dressed, the reward is you feel good, you feel ready for the day. There's rewards built into it, but we're not getting like a chocolate every time we brush our teeth. That wouldn't even make any sense. But anyways, before we can create that routine of this is just a part of my day, reading with my parents is just a part of my day, we have to kickstart it. We have to build momentum. We have to give kids that satisfaction and reason for doing the dang thing, getting it done, right? We want our kids to do the dang thing. We want them to read with us and start to develop, I kind of like reading. Oh, this is kind of fun. Oh, I can read about things that I enjoy. And we'll get there, but we need to get the ball rolling first. We need to be stopping the battles, stopping the fighting, and getting into a place where your kids are actually kind of looking forward to it. Maybe because they're getting a reward at the end. And rewards, let's talk a little bit about what a reward might be. There can be tangible rewards. For me personally, if you offer me a taco with queso, yes, a taco with queso, I'll do a lot of different things for that. That's a reward that's gonna make me motivated. Like, hey, I'll do this. I'll go grocery shopping because I get to pick out whatever I want, and I'm gonna pick out tacos with queso, whatever it is. That's very motivating for me. Food can be motivating for some kids. Trinkets can be motivating. My son is Hot Wheels. If I get him a Hot Wheel, he'll clean his room in about 1 second. You can have a sticker chart. A lot of schools have sticker charts. If you have a sheet that has smiley faces and they get a color in a smiley face, like, oh, you did reading time. Let's color in a smiley face. In our Aspire program, we have our 100 minutes chart. You actually track the minutes and we have it very easily set up. You earn 8 minutes for watching this 8-minute video, and they fill it in. It's them watching themselves grow and learn. It's a reward, a positive feeling, a positive association with doing our lessons that we're building in these kids. We've heard from families that eventually they stop doing the chart because their kids just like doing the lessons. That's ideal. That is the ideal outcome. That you don't need to do it forever, but it's what kickstarts the process, gets the ball rolling. There's non-tangible rewards as well. I love all of the Instagram videos I see of teachers that put like the sign of when they're walking in the room. Do you want a high five? Do you want a hug? Do you want a fist bump? Do you want to do a little dance? Have something like that. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just use your voice. Say, hey, do you want a high five or a hug? That's their reward. Some kids are going to love that. That's going to motivate them. Just a little bit of that affection. A dance party. Put on some Taylor Swift and just dance around the kitchen when you're done. Whatever. It doesn't need to be expensive. It doesn't need to be things. A movie night. How simple is that? Hey, well, if you get 5 learning times this week, you get to pick what movie we're watching for movie night. Oh yeah, that's going to be, for some kids, that's going to be a huge motivator. Laura created something amazing that's in our Aspire program, a motivation inventory. So it's this interactive little quiz you give your child. It's fun. It's not like hard quiz. It's like, would you rather do this or this? And then at the end, it spits out your results of what motivates your child. Like it's going to tell you exactly your child is motivated by food. Your child is motivated by praise. And it's going to give you ideas of how to keep your child motivated. It's so nice. And there's different ones out there. Laura made, I think, a really fun one. I had a lot of fun doing it with my children. Even my 3-year-old wanted to do it. It was good, great information. I use it for way more than just their reading. I use it for them cleaning their room too, honestly. Like, hey, this motivates you. Let's get it done. Let's get it done. So anyways, that is reward is step 4. There are 3 steps above that. And like I said, I'm going to talk about all of the steps in our workshop. It's a free workshop, my friends. It's a free workshop where we're going to talk about building consistent reading routines in a super easy and fun way. And you're going to walk away from the workshop with week 1 planned out. In the workshop, I'm going to teach you how to take that 1-week plan and copy and tweak it for the rest of the summer. And it's really can be used anytime during the year, but summer's coming up and I know a lot of families are trying to figure out a way of how do I keep my kids moving forward instead of backwards with their education and with their learning. And it can be challenging. It can be really tricky. And we want to make it easy for families. So this workshop, this free workshop, no cost to you, is going to help you do that. It's going to make it really simple and easy for you to keep reading time consistent in your home. The beautiful thing also about being consistent, can I just say, it means you don't have to spend that much time. If you're reading 3 to 5 times a week, you can do 5 to 15 minutes. It doesn't need to be an hour. If you're only doing it once a week, you're probably doing it for like a straight hour. Why not break it up into small, manageable chunks that can fit into your schedule? It just makes sense. We're going to help you do that in our free workshop. That's phase 2. We have a phase 3. It's going to be dropping on May 1st is the plan. May 1st, 2023. And it's going to be the most impactful phase. And I'm so excited to share about that. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to give you a bigger teaser in phase 2. So make sure to grab that workshop and I'll tell you a little more about phase 3. The takeaway today, find a way to make reading consistent at your home. It's going to make a massive, massive difference in your child's reading and in their spelling. And my favorite step, 4 steps to making this happen in your home, is to have a reward. Let me throw in there very quickly at the end here. Have a reward for yourself too, not just your child, but for you. What's going to motivate you to want to do reading time? What's going to motivate you from dreading it? Like, oh, I have to do this with my children. It's going to be awful. And move it into, wow, I can't wait to read with my kids. This is so fun. This is so joyful. I love doing this. What is going to make that motivation and that shift for you in your own brain? This applies just as much to adults as it does to our kids. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so glad to spend this time with you and keep reading.